Hello and welcome to our 6th video essay. Now that we have finally wrapped up all the shooting for this film, it is time for us to start my favourite part of the production process, the editing. Because we shot this film with no budget whatsoever, very basic equipment and very little expertise, it meant that before we could start to put the film together, we had to fix some glaring issues with the footage we had captured. For instance, this shot where Lucien is speaking to his father. When viewing it on the camera monitor, and also the larger monitor we had on location, no one noticed Tom's head clearly visible in the reflection of the mirror. Also, the whole point of the entire film is that Lucien has no reflection. A fact that we totally forgot to even consider when filming him next to mirrors. There is also this shot where he is clearly reflected in the hand mirror. To remedy this, we had to duplicate the footage in After Effects, mask out the offending objects on the top layer and then scale and move the bottom layer into position. It was then a case of going frame by frame, animating the mask and feathering its edges. Once those issues were dealt with, we used the same principle for the VFX we needed in the film. This was quite a lot easier with this shot as it was purposely set up to allow for this, as was this shot that was a bit more difficult because of the movement in the mirror, but again it was just a case of animating the mask frame by frame. Once the footage was all fixed and the VFX shots rendered, we started to throw it into the editor scene by scene. Once it was all in order, we also added the narration audio clips. We played around with these, cutting it into pieces and experimenting with spacing these out to find a nice pace. The audio we had on the actual footage wasn't usable for the final film. We knew this was going to be the case for most scenes and that we would have to replace all dialogue and sound effects in the edit. So once we had trimmed the video a little more, we started adding in sound effects we either made or downloaded from websites and re-recorded the speech in a more controlled environment. The sound design of the film was important to us, as even if the video wasn't up to scratch in certain scenes, it can be passable with good audio.
You alright? You alright?
Yeah, alright. Any shots that felt a bit off were scaled up and reframed in post also, giving us that bit more control. We downloaded music from royalty-free sites and set the pace and timing of the edit to the rhythm of these. After colour correction to fix any exposure issues and a colour grade to try and get an overall feel into the film, after about 4 edits we were finally happy with the end product and the film is done. It was now time to wrap up the paperwork and reflect on the experience as a whole. We will talk about that next time in our final video essay, looking back at how we felt this project went. Thanks for watching and see you next time.
What's he like?
Yeah.